in the field, on the field, everything we do, we dominate. That means kill a fly with a sledgehammer. But it's not about the fly you just killed. It's about the other flies that's watching.
Go Dogs! And welcome to the Chennis Berry Show. We talk South Carolina State Bulldog football head coach Chennis Berry on Saturday. South Carolina State Bulldogs closed out the regular season with a resounding 53-21 win over Norfolk State. Coach Berry, congratulations. Finishing the season 9-2. What a season it was. But talk about this game. Big time for you, of course, taking on Coach Dawson, a guy you've known for a very long time.
To God be the glory, man. Found a way to win a football game. We don't take winning for granted. It's a tough football game. Didn't start the way we like it to start. Got a little slow start. But, once the guys woke up and got the rolling real good, pretty much in the second quarter, we did some really good things in that game, not only, offensively and defensively, but special teams as well, I thought our young men had the right mindset. Like I say, we want to start a little bit faster than where we started, but all in all, they understood the mission, and the mission was to finish that game 1-0 because the journey, we're still in the journey. And, although we kind of knew where we stood in terms of being conference champions, this still was part of our regular season to finish the right way and send our seniors out on senior day the right way with their last game at Oliver C. Dawson Stadium. So, all in all, we're pleased with the win. And we found a way to win a game against a really good Norfolk State University football team.
And you talked about this team facing adversity, Coach. Got adversity early in this football game. First off, Eric Fingers didn't start. Ryan Stubblefield started the game. He got off to not a great start, throwing an interception on that first possession, and Norfolk State finds themselves in the end zone, 7-0 right out of the gate, Coach. But the team, you talked about picking each other up. Team comes back, and Swante Burris, a big return on the kickoff return, set you up. We got right back down the field, got on the board.
Well, it's important to figure out what kind of team you got when adversity strikes. Everybody, the things are good at, guys can persevere and weather the storm. But when things go bad, you got to find out what kind of football team you have. And, our young men, we just tell them, man, good things happen, keep playing, bad things happen, keep playing. Just play the next play. And our young men have really bought into that wholeheartedly. And, like you said, we didn't have the start we wanted. Second play of the game, we threw an interception. But, like I say, when Ryan came to the sideline, I told him, don't worry about anything, just play the next play. Things happen. And I really like how our young men respond.
Kyle Gallegos kicks a field goal. Bulldogs get back into the ball game after Norfolk State scores. So 7-3 South Carolina State. Now, Coach, again, you go back on offense, and we team to settle down a little bit and get the offense rolling.
Yeah, we were rolling. We were rolling on that next drive, man. Guys were doing some good things, not only, running the ball, but we did some good things throwing the ball as well. I thought Ryan played really well, man. I was very, very proud of Ryan. But again, we knew Ryan was going to play well. I just challenged the people around him. I told our O-line they had to play at another level. I told our running backs they have to raise their level, our tight ends as well as our receivers. So, Ryan's ability has never been questioned. That was just his first opportunity to go out there to start a game off. But I thought he played really, really well, and he moved our offense up and down the field.
Now, Coach, we go down. Of course, we were down 7-3. We come back, we take the lead at 10-7. But Norfolk State, Dawson Odoms. I don't know if all the players knew it, but you knew the Spartans would come back, and they come back, keep on Kane going. He breaks off a run about 29 yards. So let me tell you, I was a little concerned because there was nobody over there when you turn that corner.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We kind of misfit some things early on in the game, but I had all the confidence in the world in our defense staff that we would get it fixed. But like I say, they wanted to establish the running game, and they tried to do that. And they was able to get a couple good runs against our defense that typically doesn't happen. But you got to give kudos to them and their staff. They found a way to come up with a good game plan against our defense.
Bulldogs trailing 14-10, coaches. We get into the second quarter. Then Ryan Stubblefield really settles down after one game going. And that Casey Adams, 128 yards on the day. I tell you what, he used that offensive line. He got stronger as the game went on.
Casey Adams really showed us what he's all about this past Saturday, man. He was running the ball, looked like he was, how he used to run the ball, that great collegiate, man. He's a talented individual. He's like little joystick. They say it's a joystick now. But back when I used to play the video game, we used to hit the little R2 button and make the guys miss. But now they say they use a joystick. But he was in and out of his cuts. He was running with confidence. The offensive line did a good job of opening up holes for him. So very, very proud of Casey Adams.
Of course, Ron Stubblefield engineered the drive, and again, ended up in the end zone. Bulldogs close out the first half 17-14 over Norfolk State. Coach, you talk about the middle 8. Didn't have them quite 4 minutes into it, but just before the end of the first half, we got the lead and took the lead and never looked back.
Yes, absolutely. Our guys, we understand the motto of what we're trying to do. We want to try to get points whenever we can get them. And I thought our guys did a really good job. Once we settled down, we were a little slow at the beginning, but once we settled down, man, I thought our guys did an excellent job of moving the ball pretty much the majority of the day. 17-14, Norfolk State won the toss. That means they're going to open up the second half with the football coach. What was the thought going into the locker room? Well, like I say, I didn't like to start. So, of course, I got on the staff first, and I said, we have to do a better job of understanding the pulse of our units. We knew that we were going to have distractions with, having the festivities of senior day, having to do 27 or 28 seniors. So, the typical thing of what we do in terms of operation, we're very structured on how we do things. So how we typically, do things in the locker room with the coaches' meetings and the players' meetings, we weren't able to do that. But we have to have the ability to be able to adapt and overcome. And I don't think we did a great job of adapting through that process. We knew we had to do it. So I got on the coaches really about, finding the pulse of their units. And then, I went and talked to the team and I said, we're better than what we've showed in the first half. So I'm expecting for these next 30 minutes to come out with the right mindset and show what Bulldog football is all about.
All right, it's that time for the Prisma Health Injury Report for the Norfolk State game, Coach. And, of course, Eric Phoenix sat out this ball game, had a few bumps and bruises. Where are we injury-wise now at this point of the season?
Well, I thought we think we're pretty good, man. We met with the head athletic trainer this morning, our staff meeting, and we were kind of going through it. We're banged up, no question. I mean, when you get to this part of the football season, man, you're playing around Thanksgiving, you're going to be banged up. I mean, most teams in America are at this point, as far as our job, do a good job of, making sure we can get healthy, especially in the next few weeks. We got to take the best healthy football team that we can take when it's time for us to take our road trip down to Atlanta. So, it's more of minor little nagging hurts more as opposed to injuries. Injuries mean you can't play. We have a lot of guys that are banged up and hurt right now. And we're going to, work at, with our training staff, making sure we take care of those bodies, make sure they get the proper rest, make sure they're eating the right way and doing the right things they get one temple. You don't get but one of these, right? You got to take care of the temple you have. So we have to be able to, maximize this little time through the holidays, with their being with their families and being away. But when we're away, we still have to get treatment and take care of our bodies.
All right, so that's the Prisma Health Injury Report for the Norfolk State game. We go to the Food Lion SAG to give back this week. Of course, the Food Lion donates 1,000 meals to folks in the Orangeburg area, and we get a sack. But this week we didn't get a sack because that's really no reflection on his football team. Norfolk State only gave you 18 opportunities to get a sack over the course of the whole game. They only tried 18 passes.
It was a little different type of game because, typically you get in the 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10. Teams typically pass the ball. But they were trying to run the ball in those type of periods. So we didn't, like you say, we didn't get a lot of sacks, but we did get a lot of tackles for loss, which is a good thing as well. But all in all, they didn't have a lot of passing attempts, didn't provide a lot of opportunities for us to get sacks.
So in that case, we still do appreciate Food Line. But all they do for the Sack to Get Back program here at South Carolina State. We're going to take a time out here on the Chennis Show. We come back and go into the coaches spotlight. And we're going to put Marcus Hicks. That's right, Marcus Hicks is going to be in the coaches spotlight when we come back on this edition of the Chennis Show.
A single moment can ignite a passion. With every play, a spirit of teamwork is forged, and determination evolves into success. Life is the ultimate team sport, and a trusted teammate makes all the difference. Our team at Founders Federal Credit Union works hard every day to offer the financial tools you need, backed by unrivaled member service. Relax, you're with Founders.
No one takes care of families like Prisma Health. As South Carolina's largest health system, we we have nearly 600 primary care doctors across the Midlands and upstate, so you can choose the one who's right for you. With a more personalized approach, more locations, and more convenience, including 24/7 virtual urgent care and online or in-person visits with your primary care doctor, we're doing even more to help you be your healthiest you. Prisma Health, the primary care experts.
Go Dogs! Welcome back to the Chennis Show as we go into our coaches spotlight. And today we're going to put Marcus Hicks, our multimedia director, videographer, do everything that we do as far as social media is concerned, that coach.
The man.
The guy.
He is the man. And I'm grateful to have him, really. You know, you're talking about our video, which is extremely important. We can only develop our players the way we want to develop them if we have the right video to be able to show them. But not only that, what he's done in terms of marketing our program, we believe in, you know, we have nothing to hide. Matter of fact, we have a lot to sell. When you talk about South Carolina State University football and the tradition and the history and the pageantry and things of that nature, and Marcus Hicks delivers all that. You know, I believe wholeheartedly our social media is, we invite people into our program. He has an unbelievable team of people that really believes in his vision, and he is the CEO of that area. And I'm grateful that our social media and our video department has upgraded to unbelievable heights with the direction and the leadership of Marcus Hicks. So I'm glad he's on our staff, and he's a great one, man. He's a great day to be a Bulldog, and I'm glad he's a Bulldog.
I tell you what, I'm glad as well. And right now, folks, you get a chance to meet our Marcus Hicks in our coaches spotlight on this edition of the Chennis Show.
Ryan Stubblefield here today with the legendary Big Smooth. And I have a couple questions I wanted to ask you today.
What's good, big guy?
Not much, big guy. How you doing, big coach?
I'm out here.
How did you and Coach Barry cross paths and get together?
So the first time that I met Coach Barry is about 2006, 2007. It was kind of my first couple of years at Morgan State where he was the offensive line coach. We didn't really have a big relationship, but we had to interact with each other because I was doing film back then. And basically we kind of fell apart when it comes to that. But then years later, when I got approached to come back here to South Carolina State, that's when our paths crossed again, and it's been legendary.
So this is your second time here in Orangeburg, actually. So
yeah,
how does it feel to be back again?
It's a surreal moment. My first time here, I was coming down here just to help out for a couple weeks because of the film department it was not up to standards or up to par at the time. I come down here for 2 weeks, and then for the rest of the season, Coach would not let me leave, so I became the video coordinator down here. From there, I stayed here for a couple more seasons, won a couple MEAC titles, won the Celebration Bowl title. A couple months later after that, I applied for a job at Towson University, and we kind of part ways. It was on good terms, but we parted ways all the same. I thought, honestly, I didn't think I was going to be coming back down here, but you know, that's how life can actually, life can be funny that way. So I'm kind of happy to come back down here to expand my horizons, to actually lead a department that actually appreciates me and loves the work that I do.
Yes, sir. We do love the work that Big Smooth does.
Hey, we out here.
Yeah, we do. We love smooth camera flips. You do a lot of behind the scenes for this program. So I want you to talk about what are some of the things that you do that people don't see.
So everyone sees the graphics, the hype videos, the pictures on social media, but the things they don't see are the coach's video side. So I have two parts to my job: social media coordinator, and I'm also a video coordinator as well, a coach's video coordinator, where I'm responsible for filming 3 to 4 different angles, a sideline shot, an end zone shot, and sometimes on-field shots. And this footage is used for coaches to actually learn and teach other players on what to do and what not to do from the practice tapes and the game tapes. So that's actually the meat and potatoes of my job. The glitz and glamours of social media, that's for the likes, the views, sometimes marketing. But to really get better is the coach's video and the coach's film. I gotta make sure that it's actually on point and there are also no misplays.
We really do appreciate that. We really do appreciate that film that we do watch. It comes in handy, So
Like where?
How does it feel to receive like good views and a good amount of likes and good reactions from the team and making your graphics and videos and stuff when it hits social media?
Man, it feels incredible. I cannot lie to you. The process of me doing these graphics sometimes can take hours. Some projects, it can be days. But the end result, when everyone is smiling, everyone is clapping, everyone's hooting and hollering, especially during those Saturday night videos that I have to put out right before you guys come out to the field, I mean, it is no better feeling. I sometimes get chills. And that's also a humbling experience as well, because when I first started this thing, or when I first started to do video and had to do hype videos, I used to get booed, and I got booed terribly. So that's where my humble beginnings come from, where you're not so good, but the process, I kept working at it. And now at this point, I've done over about 1,500 videos. I've done over about 3,000 different graphics when it comes to game day, game week, recruiting, commercials, documentaries, any and everything I've touched, and I made sure that I've gotten better at it every single step of the way.
And we really appreciate that, because we do be hyping when you come out with that good video restricted for big hits and touchdowns on there.
Only big hits and touchdowns on.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask you your why. Why do you do this strenuous work and have to deal with timestamps and having to crunch work in and have to do the stuff that people don't see?
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I do like money. I like to spend money. I like the nice things. I like everything. I like it all. But on a substance note, I like to progress. I like to become better. When you're in this position, especially as a graphic designer, I look at it as being an artist. And I'm always continuously pushing myself to be better. So my why is to push and to be the best.
Big Smooth, I really appreciate you for coming out here to do this interview, for us to get to know you a lot more and understand your job and what you do for South Carolina State football team. And on behalf of the team and the rest of everybody, I want to say thank you for everything that you do. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
You've never been afraid to put in the work. The extra early, extra late, extra work. Because you understand that education is the key that unlocks everything. Better pay, better hours, better opportunities, a better you. And playing the lottery is no different. Getting educated before you play gives you the tools you need to be a better player, like knowing when to play and when to take a rain check. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to be a better player.
Why do we travel? Why do we fly? Are we called by the excitement of untold adventures in faraway places? Driven to shape the future of our world, or to share our world with future generations? We designed Columbia Metropolitan Airport for you, and her, and them. So when the day arrives for your next journey, we'll be ready to get you there. Columbia Metropolitan Airport. Fly with ease.
Go Dogs! Welcome back to the Chennis Berry Show, talking Bulldog football with the head of Bulldog, Chennis Berry. We go into the second half now. Of course, Norfolk State's also the football coach, and that's a really coveted position, but they didn't do anything with it. We got the football back and went right down the field.
Well, I challenged our guys in the locker room before we came out. I said, look, guys, our defense is getting ready to go out there first. They're going to set the tone, like the expectation of what we expect them to do all the time. And they did exactly that and put the ball back in our offense's hand. And, we did some really good things with the ball. We had the right mindset when we came out there. A little different in the first half, but, guys were woke up and ready to go. And we went out in the second half and did some really good things and started off, man. So we always talk about that middle eight, that last 4 minutes of the first half and that first 4 minutes of the second half, and I thought we did some good things. We had our mind in the right place.
You start thinking about this game, coach, and you lose your starting quarterback, and you bring a guy in like Ryan Stubblefield. If I'd never seen South Carolina State play before, I would have thought he was the starting quarterback.
That's the objective. I tell Ryan all the time, I was proud of him first and foremost. Great young man. And I said, listen, man, you have to prepare every day like you're the guy, because you never know. We have a next man up mindset around here. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready at the end of the day. So Ryan, although he may not take the same amount of reps as Phoenix takes in practice, he has to prepare like he's the starter. And, the good thing is that week of practice, he was taking all of the 1 rep. So he got majority of the reps that week. So he understood the mission. And I thought Ryan did a really good job. He's a true dual threat quarterback. He has unbelievable arm talent. Unbelievable arm talent. He can throw it short. He can throw it deep. He can throw it, intermediate, it doesn't matter, and he has unbelievable feet. I mean, he's quicker than a hiccup, man. So, he's special, man. We're glad he's on our team, and he's going to continue to get better and better every day the more reps he gets.
On a 10-play, 60-yard drive gave the Bulldogs the 24-14 lead. Got a little bit of cushion there, but then the special teams get involved. Coach, it almost came up with 6, but we'll take 2.
Hey, man, we were able to get we put our punt block team out there, our punt return unit, and we went blocking one. Javian Snow, who did an amazing job, not only on that team, he was great the whole entire game on our special teams unit, but got a big block right down the middle, and then they ended up turning that into a safety. So we were able to get 2 points right there, and then now they had to kick the ball to us. And we actually returned that next kick for a touchdown, but it got called back for a holding call.
Well, that happens. But again, South Carolina State now going up, leading this ball game. But again, we get football a little bit later on in this football game, Coach. And
Norfolk State had to be feeling pretty good. They down the football back on the 1-yard line, 99 yards away from pay dirt, and that had to be one of the best drives we've had all season.
Super proud of our guys. To go 99 yards on the drive, and I believe it was an 8-play drive. I mean, just methodically run, pass, down the field. Again, Ryan Stubblefield engineered that group to be able to take it down the field and culminate that drive with a touchdown. 99 yards, that's a tough feat. They say the percentages of taking a drive 99 yards is almost slim to none. We were able to start on the -1 and take it all the way down to put the ball in the box. So kudos to our guys.
And talking a lot about the defense. There's some big defensive plays, Coach. Let me start first with the defensive line that you're on Hannibal. Those guys up front, because Keywan King, the Norfolk State running back,
was third in the MEAC coming in this game, 800 yards on the season. He averaged almost 6 yards a carry, and he had a good day, but we really pretty much shut them down.
Did a good job, man. We've been doing a good job all year against the run. And, he had a couple plays when we put some of our other guys in towards the end of the game. But, all in all, he did a good job of running the ball. Norfolk, we knew going into the game they were going to do a good job. Man, they had a good offensive line. They did a good job with their scheme. And like you say, King, their running back was special. But, I thought we did some good things, not only in stopping the run for the most part. It wasn't to our total liking of stopping the run, but we did some good things when the good guys were out there. But all in all, man, I thought we did some good things in the back end as well. Diego Addison, when he got that interception, that toe tap interception to really get us the ball back, I mean, that was huge, man. Diego played really well. Diego was voted amongst our staff as our defensive player of the week, and he's been playing lights out really all season, man. Diego is a great addition to our defense, and he does a great job controlling that back end.
You talk about controlling that back end, Coach. Talk about the traffic we've had back there, because we've moved in a lot of players.
See Marcus Samuels back in the ball game, and some more. And Diego has been the glue, if you would, for keeping that group together with all the changes.
Diego has played a lot of snaps in our defense. Obviously he was a starter at our last institution at Benedict. And for him to come over here and, do great things as well. And the good thing about him, he's like the Swiss Army knife. He's a guy that can play the free, he can play the nickel, he can play the rover, he can play corner. Matter of fact, when we signed Diego out of AC Florida High School, he was a cover 2 corner back then. We saw something in him, and he's been able to play all over our secondary, and he's been a great, great player the entire year for us here at South Carolina State.
I was going to turn into the Diego Addison show just for a minute, because we're going to take time out and we come back with our player spotlight. I guess it was going to be in the player spotlight. Diego Addison, when we come back on this edition of the Chennis Berry Show.
Hey, grab me one too.
Come to South Carolina State University. Here you'll find unlimited possibilities for wherever you want your college career to take you. Since 1896, we've trained generations of scholars and leaders, building a legacy of excellence. Explore our stellar academic programs, including nuclear engineering, military science, biology, education, computer science, agribusiness, and more. Enjoy student-focused activities and organizations and discover your passion. Dare to be great. Enroll now and join our legacy of excellence at South Carolina State University.
Go Dogs. Welcome back to Chennis Berry Shows. You thought Bulldog football with head coach Chennis Berry. Top of board rate by playing player spotlight coach and guys you really think a lot of. And that's Diego Addison.
Diego Addison is special. Great young man, first and foremost. Great family. He's totally bought into this program and the process what we're all about. And he's an unbelievable football player. He's a young man that's been around me for the last 4 years. You know, we've won a lot of games together. And to be able to have a guy like that, he's basically the quarterback of the secondary. He runs it all back there. Great young man, great football player, and we're glad that he's in our secondary.
Tell you what, folks, and we're happy to be able to introduce to you for the first time
Diego Addison of South Carolina State.
This is Ryan Stubblefield here with Diego Addison, and I have a few questions that I have to ask. How was the transition from Benedict to South Carolina State?
The transition has been great so far. I left after the fall and I got here in the spring, and we kind of, connected as a group through all the summer, spring workouts and all the, when it's cold and we run on the 110, that bring me together. So the transition has been great.
What does it mean to you to be a leader in the back end of a great defense?
It means a lot. It comes with a lot of responsibility. Got to help everybody get lined up, make sure the front end is connected with the linebackers, and then they'll connect us to the front end.
So you're used everywhere in the back end, and I just want to ask you, what does it take to be such a Swiss Army knife in the back end to be used everywhere?
Well, I've been in this scheme since a freshman, so I came in at corner. I played corner for 2 years, and then after my sophomore spring, I went to free safety, and that's where you kind of learn about what everybody else is doing. So from there on, just time in the system, you learn how to play nickel, and then you learn how to play rover, and then all of a sudden you know how to play them all.
So we know you're obviously really good at football, and you can take command of the defense and take command of the field. If you weren't playing football, what sport do you think you would be playing?
Well, my first sport I played for the longest was soccer. I got a little Latino in me, a little Puerto Rican in me, so I got some sweet feet. I can score some goals.
Okay, I hear you. Sounds good. I also heard that you can whip it down in the kitchen. So what's your favorite dish to cook, and what else other hobbies do you have?
My favorite thing to cook is shrimp and grits. I can make some good shrimp and grits. And also I like to cook mainly breakfast stuff, a little steak. That's it.
So to wrap it up, I want to ask you, what is your reason you come out here and sweat and grind every day in the morning at 5 a.m.?
I do it for my family. I'm fortunate to be here. Not a lot of people can get in this situation. And, my parents sacrificed a lot, taking me to all these games, all this different stuff your whole childhood. So I just go and try and make my family proud.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the interview with Diego Addison. I'm Ryan Stubblefield. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Hey, South Carolina, we want to be the choice for your Medicaid plan. With Healthy Blue, you have access to thousands of quality providers to fit your needs. Qualifying members can get free extra benefits like gift cards, car seats, diapers, and so much more. Members can also earn rewards for completing health activities like getting your flu vaccine or certain health screenings. You have a choice when it comes to Medicaid. Get more from your Medicaid plan. Visit healthybluesc.com today.
Your home is where your memories live, where you laugh, and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
Go Dogs. Welcome back to the Chennis Berry Show. Exciting time for South Carolina State. The season's over, Coach. But one of the days that probably makes you smile more than anything else is being able to do something.
Give back to the Orangeburg community, which means so much to everybody at South Carolina State.
Oh, it means a lot. It was a vision of mine that just came to fruition. And when you have things that come to fruition, man, you got to put it into place. And the vision was to have a turkey giveaway. The community of Orangeburg has been great to this program, and I want to, give back. And I believe in attitude of gratitude. So the vision was to have our football players, to come on out after practice today, and they put their jerseys on and and they got a chance to just show their gratitude to the people in the Orangeburg community and be able to give back. So we had today from 1 o'clock, I believe, to about 2 o'clock, we had a turkey giveaway right at the stadium, and it was an amazing turnout. And just to see the joy and the smiles on the people in the Orangeburg community's faces as they, got those turkeys. But the joy that I saw from our players, that they were able to give back and just, it was just a warm, welcoming day. Our president came out, spent a little time with us as well, President Conyers, who's amazing. And, our whole entire staff was out there, our whole entire team was out there, and to be able to give back to this great community, man. So it's a great day to be a Bulldog, and we want to show our attitude of gratitude of giving back.
Tell you what, we sure do appreciate the players' efforts and all those folks who came out. Glad you're able to come out and take part in this great event for South Carolina State. We're going to move on now to the
Davis Toyota keys to the game. Of course, Bulldogs have a game this week. Of course, the Celebration Bowl coming up, Coach. You got 2 weeks to sort of get prepared for that. Take me through what's going to happen over the next week or so.
Well, for us, we're going to make sure we're working on us. It's about fundamentals right now and getting healthy. We have to get healthy because we're a banged up football team right now. So we're just going to go back to day 1 and day 2 installs and just really work on our pad level, our footwork, our hat placement, and all the little fundamental things it takes to be a successful football program. And, that's really what we're going to be working on for the next couple of weeks. And, until we know who our opponent is, we do not know who we're going to be playing as of yet. But we'll do some advanced scouting on both teams, really, because we don't know who we're going to play. So we'll kind of get ahead in that regard, but not even about the opponent right now. It's us versus us and just working on just get better in the small little details, the mundane things of being a successful football player as well as a successful football program for these next couple of weeks.
Of course, the SWAC Championship coming up on December 7th between
Jackson State and Southern University. The winner will play South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl. Congratulations in order for our coach, Chennis. HCA Region 2 Coach of the Year. Congratulations on that award. Not your first Coach of the Year award, but well deserved.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, man. Whenever you get recognized amongst your peers, man, to be able to, the work that we do, we put so much time into this game, man. So I'm grateful. But it's not just me, it's my staff, man. We have the coaches of the year, because without them, I'm absolutely nothing. And our players, for the work that they put in. So I'm grateful for it all. Attitude of gratitude again, but I'm grateful.
Got to make you smile one more time because you're a candidate for the
Eddie Robinson Award. Of course, a lot of good coaches. T.C. Taylor's up for it. I think Eddie George, a few other coaches. But it is just an exciting thing to be nominated for when you're considered
among the best coaches in the country.
I tell you what, that is special. When you're talking about Eddie Robinson, wow. Just to even have my name in the same sentence just brings joy to my heart. Just a guy, like I say, who's come through the HBCU ranks. I've been at HBCU since 1991 as a player and then as a coach. I've spent my whole adult life on the HBCU campus, and when you're talking about the greats of Eddie Robinson, man, that's just special. That's special to even have your name just mentioned with his name.
Coach, you've done well.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank the folks to make the Chennis Berry Show possible. Founders Federal Credit Union, Prisma Health, South Carolina Farm Bureau, the South Carolina Educational Lottery, Orangeburg County, Healthy Blue, Pepsi, MUSC, Food Lion and their Sad to Get Back program. Of course, the good folks at Davis Toyota for the keys to the game. Folks, I want to thank you for joining us for the Chennis Berry Show. We hope to see you in 2 weeks. The Cricket Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. And of course, in 3 weeks, right back here on the Chennis Berry Show. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs! In the field, on the field, everything we do, we dominate. That means kill them fly with a sledgehammer.